this hit make my people wanna jump. Love this hit make my people wanna jump.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
This is pathetic.
Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
So whistle while you work.
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm a bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
Join in, folks. It's yodeling time.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
It's such fun to hum a happy working song. A happy working song.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all. Oh, bitch, you killed
Kenny.
You fat hoe!
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorraine yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Hello, party people. It's your girl, Reina Creole, and welcome to the Spice Lounge. And yes, hit those likes on the way in. Here in the Spice Lounge, we give you those hot takes and spicy conversation about what's moving and shaking in pop culture. We always keep it real with myself, my friends that drop by to come in and opine, and we just have a great time saying the stuff that others won't say. We definitely say it on this show. So we've got literally a packed show, and as usual, something will fall out of the sky that is just so stupid that we have to talk about it. So we are definitely going to be talking about that. Of course, we are going to be talking about Rachel Zegler, who, let's say her non-apology. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to go through that because there's some stuff that's going on because I don't think she wrote it. Yeah, really. I don't think she did. We're going to talk about that. We've got some posthumous news about Betty White that I think a lot of you folks are going to be happy about. We're also going to be talking about the likes of, let's see, this will make you happy. Universal just released actual ride queue photos of the British Ministry of Magic for the Battle of the Ministry over there in Epic Universe, and damn, isn't it nice when concept art actually matches what you get? We're gonna check that out. And also, Jaguar just told Bud Light, hold my beer, well, not beer, hold my tea and watch this. So with that said, let me bring in my amazing panel. I see 26 of you folks all the way in here coming in. Thank you so much. If you're watching us on a replay, hey, let me know in the comments if you are part of the replay crew. So here we go with my panelists. We've got Erica from Erica and Ruff, and we have got Ron Bradley of Follow the Bradleys Fun. How are you folks doing?
Tired.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
It's a long day. I know Erica's having a long day. Hers is worse than mine. Mine is just a day on YouTube, but Erica, oh my gosh. Tell the story.
Yeah, so we're trying to get our second car registered with the German government here, but in order to do that, our plates expired. So we have to get temp plates and then get the car inspected. If the inspection passes, then we have to go back to the DMV to get the permanent plates. But the thing is that this process, it seems simple, but it's not.
Right.
Raf went to the DMV last week to vehicle registration, and Thursday and Friday both, they had no temp tags. They were out of them. So he's going to try again tomorrow. And then if he lands the temp plates tomorrow, they're good for 30 days. We've got 30 days to get the car inspected. If the car fails, we have to get whatever's fixed that they claim needs to be fixed, then get it re-inspected before we can even go back to vehicle registration to get our permanent plates.
You know what, Erica? You know what that reminds me of now that I think about it? The Pennsylvania DMV with regards to state inspection and all that. So to the point where, I kid you not, where the DMV is and where you have to present proof of your car being inspected are right next to each other. So people are usually
not here. It's insane.
Running back and forth.
And then the different locations and satellite clinics, but satellite DMVs, whatever, they don't offer all services. So depending on on the location, depends on what service they have. It's been an absolute mess because they don't have enough active duty slots to fill the positions. And apparently they're not opening up federal positions for the Germans. So they could, it's such a mess. Like if I wanted to go and get our permanent plates, if it was just a renewal, to get into the virtual queue, there's about 1,600 people ahead of you. And you're in the virtual queue for like a month. And you have to keep tabs on your phone.
What?
So you know the secret to getting into the virtual queue is make sure you're on at 6:59 and 59. Wait a second. I think I'm confusing virtual
queues. It
queues.
doesn't matter here. Out here, they used to do that, and you could get same day service.
Right.
But it got so out of hand that now they just said screw it, and the virtual queue is consistently 1,500 to 1,600 people in the queue.
Dear Lord.
And
Gosh.
it is an absolute shit show here.
So
we haven't had a second car for like 3-4 months.
Oh my gosh, I will never complain about the California DMV again. No, I'm just kidding. I will totally talk about the California DMV. If you've seen Zootopia, that's a nice way of putting how the California DMV is, especially the DMV in Culver City. Oh God. Anyway, 27 of you guys in here watching. I see you, DJ Knight. I see you, Snorta Poopus. I see you, Thanatos Felicitas. I see Erica waving to everybody in here. I see DJ Knight. Of course, Ron is here from Follow the Bradleys Fun. Fernando Lewis, I see you. What?
I've heard of him.
You have. But you have heard of me. Anyway, Tom F is here in the chat. We got Peter here. We've got Stitch Lover. We have got CJ, my awesome thumbnail guy, because I have zero artistic talent. So he does amazing, making my channel look awesome. And we got Darth Plato here as well. We've got Jan Monroe here. Dapper Bantafru. Hello, friends coming from the hospital. Oh my goodness. I certainly hope you are doing better. Yeah. I know you're glad to be out of the hospital because the food sucks in the hospital. That much I do know. Oh, please understand us here watching from NorCal. All right. Dan's Life at the Kingdom. Good to see you. Barryon is here. We've got RC here in the chat as well. And let's see, Dan's Life at the Kingdom saying hi to Ron. I see you. See you. Keely Chow and Roll Tide. It's Florentin is here. So Spice Lounge Tuesday. Florentin, did you get your Epic Universe bag? If not, I need to have a talk with USPS. So let's see. Blind conservative woman. I see you. I see you. I see you. And I think that is everybody. So glad you are all here. Glad you're all here. Let's kick it off with the hot topics. One of these days, I'm going to get my trailer hot topics in here. But this is a hot topic that I am very, very happy about. Betty White. I tell people that, if my grandma was white, it would be Betty White, literally, because I love her. I've grown up watching so much stuff that she's been in. Golden Girls. It is amazing. Even Camera Girl will sit and watch Golden Girls.
I love Golden Girls. Sophia was my favorite character.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is it true that they're about to mess up Golden Girls by having a new Golden Girls?
I hope not. I haven't heard anything, but
I hope not.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
No.
That's a real thing. Like they with Amy Poehler or something was in there. I don't know. I've seen it. Maybe somebody was just creating some farcical thing, but I hope that's not a real thing. But I gotta say this about Betty White. As a guy, you ever seen Betty White in her younger years? Woof, I'm telling you.
Oh, do you know what my favorite?
I've never thought to Google what she looked like when she was younger.
Oh, she's been around a while, and I'm telling you.
Yes. She has been around, and no matter how old she was, one of my favorite gifs, yes, I call it GIF, is her basically shaking her boobs while she's dancing. It's hilarious. She is oh my gosh, I love her. I love Betty White so darn much. Anytime, some old Hollywood person would pass away, you'd see on Twitter, somebody check on Betty White. Betty White must be protected. And I was looking forward to her turning 100 and was just heartbroken when she didn't make it. But her people cover did. Her people covered it. So that was, it was sad, and yet seems so fitting. So for all of you who love Betty White, I'm not a stamp collector, but this is a stamp that I have to have. So Postal Service to release Betty White stamp, and this is from News Channel WFLA. Betty White may soon be headed to your mailbox. The legendary actor is poised to be honored with her own U.S. Postal Service stamp. So these are among the other stamps that are going to debut next year. This is going to be a forever stamp, which I love. I love forever stamps because you can just buy them and you're done. Kind of like a hedge against inflation, so to speak. But with ones like this is going to be a very, very popular one. I may actually answer the question, because when you go to the post office, they always try to upsell you. It's like, no, I don't want a P.O. box. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want this. Do you need any stamps? Usually it's like, no, I don't need any stamps. But this one, I'm going to be like, yeah. When are you going to be getting these stamps in? And set some aside for me. So in a statement revealing the release of the forever stamp, the post office called White an icon of American television who shared her wit and warmth with viewers for 7 decades and gained younger generations of fans as she entered her 90s. Abso-freaking-lutely. What do you guys think about Betty White on a stamp? You gonna get it?
All right, I think it's awesome.
For a second there, I'm like, people still do stamps. It's totally different out here. So I'm like, for a second.
Stamp collecting is still a big. stamp collecting itself, I mean, it's still a big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
And really anything that you have, long-standing collections of, like my collection is what I guess Disney would call toothpick holders, or other people would call shot glasses. But I still, to this day, I can't get away from collecting them. It was a collection started on my first trip to Florida. I think it was 5 years old. I don't know why my parents bought me a shot glass, but that's where it
Hey.
started.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would, yeah, CJ, I agree. I would love this as a poster. Totally. Betty White is one of those just American institution when it comes to film and television, and she has fans of all ages, which is crazy. I think people were asking her to get on Twitter, and I forget which late night show she was on, and she's like, "No, Facebook. That's why." Facebook. She's like, people keep asking me to go on Facebook. And I saw what Facebook was, and it's the biggest waste of time I've ever seen. Like, see, Betty White agrees with me.
That's funny.
So she's awesome. So yeah, this is gonna come out next year. Betty White made a candy bar commercial into a classic. Oh wow, which one? I'm trying to think of. Do you guys know which candy bar?
No, I don't.
Wasn't Baby Ruth, was it?
Was it the Snickers one where?
Oh, you're not yourself, and she's playing football.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that might be.
Somebody said you're not doing it right, and she said, "Well, that's not what your mom said last night." Oh my god!
I heard she was known for her improv. She was really good with improving. I wonder if that was improv.
It you know what? It could have been because her wit
God.
is so great. You have to go see a movie called Lake Placid. It's on streaming somewhere. Lake Placid. I mean, she's just freaking awesome in that. So yeah, I will be stalking the post office website and maybe drop into my local post office to get this stamp because I gotta have it.
Is it the same Lake Placid that they filmed part of with the Gatorland Gators?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes.
I mean,
That's
make a big
another
deal of that at Gatorland. You know, it's funny. There's another. This has nothing to do with it, but it's just funny that there's a scene in one of the Indiana Jones movies, and they actually filmed it at Gatorland. But it's funny because they're gators and they're supposed to be crocodiles, and it's a different part of the world where those types of animals don't exist. And it's funny to hear about it at Gatorland. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject.
No, but that is also another reason why I like Lake Placid, because I'm watching it and I'm just cracking up, and I'm like, wait a minute, those aren't crocodiles, those are gators.
Yeah,
that's a oh my gosh, that's such a fun sci-fi movie to watch for real. All right, let's see here. Next topic to talk about. Next one. Apparently, they released a trailer for How to Train Your Dragon. Have you guys had a chance to look at the live action trailer yet? It's literally like a sizzle reel.
I haven't watched through the entire trailer. I just watched how I was on the pro show when it came out, and so he played what they could play without the copyright infringement. So I just saw that a bit, but I am not particularly familiar with the franchise. I have not watched the animated movie yet. And it's probably one of those things that, I'll be honest with you, I will probably be far more interested in this after I go to Epic Universe and go to the How Do You Train Your Dragon land. That will probably make it so that I want to get interested in watching the movies.
Well, it's definitely this movie will be coming out in June, I believe June 13th, about 3 weeks after Epic Universe is up and running or has been open. One of the things that I love about this trailer is the CGI with Hiccup, and everything from how he blinks his eyes, how they dilate and everything. It's pretty much like what the raptors do in Jurassic Park. But this scene right here, and I can talk about this a lot because these are the movies that Camera Girl grew up on. So I showed this teaser to her, and she was fixated. She was just like, yeah, this movie's gonna make a lot of money. This is like the moment in How to Train Your Dragon, the first one. Hiccup, what you see over there to the right. If you've ever seen the movie The Black Phone, this is the actor. This is the boy in The Black Phone. He's a little older now. Hiccup is tasked with actually killing a dragon, because dragons are the enemies of the Vikings at this point in time. But he can't do it. Hiccup has a broken wing. He has a broken leg. And the two of them bond. And there's this moment here where they actually touch and bond. Now, do you guys remember for Epic Universe, for the commercial, where they're well, not commercial, but what they put online when they're talking about Isle of Berk and How to Train Your Dragon, and they talk about the Hiccup meet and greet, which is going to be a walking puppet animatronic, like what Blue is, but
that.
several streets ahead because of the technology. This is the moment that you will be able to recreate. And if you go back and watch that, when the Universal creative guys start talking about this moment and the fact that they wanted to recreate this moment and what it means to them, either they used to work for Disney or they were trained by people who did work for Disney, because all they kept talking about was how guests would be able to relive this iconic moment from the film.
One of my younger nieces is obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon, with the entire franchise. That is like, she goes nuts over this character. So she's going to be super excited for this movie.
Hiccup doesn't have a broken leg. He loses his leg later. Oh, okay. It's been a while since I've seen the film.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time for me too. I haven't kept up with the franchise. I saw the first movie, but I haven't seen the second one or the series on Netflix.
Yeah, I've seen the two films because I had to. I was forced to. Like, we're going to see the second one, right? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But yeah, one of the reasons. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, my dear.
I was just going to say, compared to Disney's live actions, I'm over here I got this vision in my head of people sitting around this table in the C-suite at Disney and them scratching their heads as to why this live action was a success and theirs flop. And it's like, well, probably because this live action isn't going to tell me how I should live my life or what I should like or not like,
Yeah, it's not woke.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not preaching to me, it's just a good story, good characters, and they're sticking to what kids will want. And that is, they're going to want the original story. I mean, you figure this is meant for kids. It's not really made for adults. So,
yeah,
I think it's going to be cute. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, just how he opened his eyes. It wasn't like boom, hiccup, Toothless opens his eyes. It's very reptilian with the two.
Yeah, I was going to say that almost looks like an actual real snake.
Yeah. No,
I mean, there's something about it. There's something snake-like, but like not CGI snake, like a real snake. If you've ever been around, I've been around a lot of snakes in my life. But, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like the animal, a snake.
Yeah.
They're not like I don't have a dislike for snakes. I don't have an affinity for them. I don't love them. I don't hate them. They're like I'm a neutral animal to me. But it just looks freaking real.
I
um,
They
love
did a good
this
job with the
so
CGI.
much. Look at this, and this is what you're going to see at Epic Universe. Just like, I mean, Blue was kind of not completely stationary, but obviously Blue, which is the raptor from Jurassic World, there's a meet and greet over in Islands of Adventure. It's going to be a free roaming animatronic.
And then they got the flying one on
I
top of
still
that.
haven't seen. I need to go and see that. I still haven't seen the Blue meet and greet.
You have to go and you have to. I haven't done it yet.
Gotta get over there.
This up because I wanted to actually go with my sister to do it, so she could check it out. Let me see. I think wait a minute. I think I found this one. Let's see.
They have a dragon.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way,
This is like
I
the
forgot
one
about
at
this.
Universal. Yeah. So this is at Hollywood. We have one in Universal. You go and Blue comes out, and it's so freaky that I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go there, even though I know it's fake. Still,
I
between
definitely
like
see
how it
your head.
moves and breathes and you know,
Chris
uh,
Chris Pratt doesn't have kids yet, does he?
yeah,
I
he
don't
does.
think.
Oh, he does. Because I was just thinking. I mean, his vacation could be. He comes here to Florida with his kids, and they just be like, "Dad, why are you on every ride everywhere?" And like they go to Cosmic Rewind, and he's there, and they go to Universal, and Velociraptor, and Velocicoaster, he's there, and then like somebody that is trying to impersonate him comes out at in front of Cosmic Rewind. Like,
Oh my gosh! Oh, that
Dad,
big.
Dad,
That
That
you're just
moment when your
everywhere.
kids realize who you are.
It would be so funny.
Outside
I
of being
know,
your
I know,
dad.
I know. I'll have to do it. And yeah, we're actually talking about the live action movie, but yeah, we're talking about the meet and greet in Isla Burke at Epic Universe, where you will be able to meet Toothless and have that meet and greet. So kind of like what I wanted to show you, like Blue is a free forming animatronic, well, puppet / animatronic, but it either way, it's moving, it's walking around. And the one for Epic Universe is going to be even more advanced. Like it will probably be moving just like this, and you get to meet. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I want
The
to see her
face.
so bad, my niece, and I just want to be there for the look on her face. I want to. Oh gosh.
Is that the Geico list? Just the expression. I mean, it doesn't look, the expression on Toothless face, it doesn't look flat or boring. It looks very
No.
just
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh.
It looks real.
It looks absolutely, it looks real, and kids can tell if it's like, I don't want to go over there. Looks boring. Doesn't even
think
look
kids
like
are gonna like
like
this.
it's life. Yeah, kids are gonna go absolutely crazy for this. So while kids will go crazy for this here, big kids like me, like Erica, like Ron, Universal Orlando shares first look inside the new Wizarding World attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Now, if you have ever watched the Harry Potter films,
Mm-hmm.
and was it oh my gosh, which one was it? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, I think. My movies are starting to meld together because Voldemort was back, and they actually had to go into the Ministry of Magic, where they had to take the polyjuice potion so they could oh my gosh, I forget who the three people they wound up tying up or something like that, knock it out. They took the polyjuice potion to look like them so they could get into the British Ministry of Magic. And the Ministry of Magic in the film, these look like just like the same sets in the film. These are this is the actual queue. This is literally the actual queue that we're going to be in. This looks dead on like the movie. You've got the flu, you've got statues here, you've even got the ceiling that has like the weather that's going on, and these screens here, well, I call them screens, but they change.
This is what Universal gets about immersive theming that Disney does not seem to get. It's that when people see a movie and they go to a land that says this land is from the movie, people want to feel like they've actually walked into the movie, something that they saw. When they built Galaxy's Edge, every time I see Universal's theming, I think, how did Disney miss the mark so much? Because when you walk into Galaxy's Edge, it feels disjointed. Like I was there recently, and the weird thing about it is you're seeing all this Star Wars-ish stuff, and it feels like what was that? It feels Uncanny Valley. That's the word. It, like when you were watching CGI in the early 2000s, you watched Polar Express, for example, that weird Uncanny Valley. That's what it feels like when you walk into Galaxy's Edge. Instead of feeling like you're really in some Star Wars movie, you're feeling like, well, this is Star Wars-ish, kind of, but where was this ever in a movie? Well, when you walk into the Harry Potter stuff in Diagon Alley, for example, and you go, like, you're like, I'm freaking in Diagon Alley. It feels like you're there. It's so cool. That's what they're missing in Galaxy's Edge. If they could, for example, if they could have done something where it felt like you were in I think it's Coruscant. Oh my gosh, that would have been amazing. Like you actually felt like you were in the streets of Coruscant, and that you could look up on the hill and see the Jedi Temple maybe in the background somewhere, something like that. But they didn't. It's so frustrating to me because they spent like $1 billion making this fan fiction land, and you look at Universal and you're like, Universal got it. It's weird because it's like this, my fandom in my head, it's like I was a diehard Disney person, root for Disney all the time, and to see Disney just fall flat on their face right now while Universal is getting everything right, you're like, what weird world am I living on in which Universal is outdoing Disney at Disney at Disney stuff? It's crazy to me. But epic is epic.
Epic, it so is, and it's also the reason why if you go to Universal Orlando, even if you go to the one in Hollywood, you go to one in Japan, people don't seem to want to leave the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Nope.
They will wait an hour, 90 minutes to get on the Hogwarts Express to go between Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade and vice versa. If you go like to Universal and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of people in the park, you go into Diagon Alley and there's wall-to-wall freaking people.
Oh, it's packed.
Not only wall-to-wall people, you've got people wearing either their homemade Harry Potter shirts they have from home, which are hilarious, or they've got on their robes or swag. People are using their wands at the wand stations. They're going in and out of like the gift shops. For example, Escape from Gringotts.
Oh my gosh, that is so to die for. When you walk into the queue, it's the freaking queue. It's the queue. That's what's so wild.
You're watching
all of those animatronic trolls, whatever they are, things. And then, I mean, like, I'm not
Yeah,
even that familiar with the Harry Potter movie, and
goblin.
it feels so cool to be in there. And it feels so real. You're like, I'm in a Harry Potter movie, damn it. It's so weird. I'm in the world.
Next. Yeah. Usually for New Year's Day, I think I'm gonna between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I'm thinking I'm gonna have a Harry Potter movie watch-a-thon for members because I haven't seen them in a while, and I finished reading the Deathly Hallows not too long ago. Yeah, Galaxy's Edge just feels like you're being told this instead of showcasing classic Star Wars. Exactly, and frankly, I wanted that CD. I wanted the CD district from Coruscant. That's what I want.
Yeah, and the thing about Galaxy's Edge, this is what bothers me so much, is that Star Wars weekends felt more Star Wars than Galaxy's Edge ever has, and was so much more freaking fun than Galaxy's Edge could ever hope to be. And that's with this $1 billion spent on ride technology. That I will say the only kind of cool thing about Galaxy's Edge is seeing the Millennium Falcon, and that's it. I'm like, oh man, when I think back to Star Wars weekends and how great that was, you know what, Star Wars weekends did the same thing right that the early Star Wars movies also did right, that Disney's getting wrong about Star Wars now. And that was that it was all about the characters, about the people.
Right.
Like the initial mix of Star Wars that made it so great was the cast. I mean, it was like with Harrison and Mark back then, and Leia, and like it was like that cat. That's what people fell in love with. The fact that it was set in Star Wars Galaxy Far Far Away, blah blah blah. That was all extraneous to the fact that the cast and the characters made the damn thing work. And Star Wars weekends, they just flooded it with all of the different movies. I mean, you'd run into Grimorian guards for goodness sake, and now.
Right.
It's so weak. You go to Galaxy's Edge and maybe Rey walks by, some stupid character that you don't care about. You might get to see Chewbacca there and a couple of. It's just not nearly as cool as Star Wars weekends was.
No, it certainly isn't. And wow, Kevin, I'm going to bring you to the front of the living room. Families still love Disney. Y'all just rooting for Universal Studios. Stop this mess. Well, thank you for this comment. Number one, we're always going to hold Disney to account on this channel and Universal to account on this channel. So yeah, families still love Disney. I go to Disney and I visit. But if you think Disney has not been effing up of late and forgetting their customer base, I don't know what to tell you. Families love Disney, but Disney doesn't seem to love families back with how much they're charging. And
and that's the biggest thing is that exactly Disney doesn't love the families back. And I've been there a lot. You've been there a lot. There's a lot fewer families at Disney than there used to be. That's
I have
very, very, very factual.
I have a son who's married with 3 kids, and he's told me that they have restricted significantly going into the parks because they don't want the girls to start questioning genders. So that's one of the big reasons, and they don't let the girls watch Disney Plus either. So the company as a whole is in moral decay, and they've completely forgot their customer base. Now, that being said, the reason why we're so critical of Disney is because we love Disney so much. There's an emotional, historical connection there that, we're essentially holding them accountable. And don't think they are not paying attention to these YouTube channels, because they are. They're paying attention to that Park Place and WDW Pro and any offshoot of the two. And why not? Why not hold them accountable? I think it's a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In the meantime, yeah, I can still go to the parks. I can still find little nuggets here and there of the magic. I've had family work for them for 25 years. I can't say much more than that, but there is a deep rooted love for. I got engaged at Disney, so we have a huge emotional, sentimental connection to the parks, and it's really hard to divorce of that. And it's because we see so much potential in this company. They're capable of so much more, and that's what we're bringing to the table.
Well, and I think too, think about it like your baseball or football team, the one that you root for. That's your guys. Like for me, it's the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Like you love that team. You want to see that team succeed. And like sometimes they do year after year in the World Series, and boom, and they're doing everything right. And then all of a sudden you see a coach gets replaced, and then they start to let go of their top guys, and then they bring in people and like you don't understand, and the team starts losing and they're going downhill. It's the same type of thing. You still love that team. You still want to root for that team, but you also are like, hey, come on, get a better coach. I mean, it's the same type of thing. It's very, very much the same type of thing.
Yeah.
We're Nebraska Cornhusker fans, so we know that pain. We're still fans, but we can still call them out when they screw up, because we know they're capable of more.
Exactly. Because Disney used to be the gold standard, and stuff like you see right here is the quality we used to get from Disney. And also remember, there are a bunch of Imagineers that Disney let go that now work at Universal.
Yeah, and it shows.
And
big time.
it absolutely does. It does show. So we love Disney, but Disney has fallen far below the standard that they.
You also have Disney Imagineers now that are commenting on certain things, and they don't even put up the correct picture with what they're commenting
Oh
on.
my gosh. They couldn't even know the difference between the American Adventure and
the Hall of Presidents.
And the Hall of Presidents. I mean, how can you? And not even oh shoot, I put the wrong picture. I'm sorry. Let me go and and change that. No. They put that up there. So.
And yet, yes, the person that was commenting on that was absolutely a Disney show.
Yes.
Not a shill, but a show.
Quite literally. Oh, well, moving on to what this one dropped in my lap. I want to show this picture. Does anybody know what vehicle that is that this lady is sitting in? The company? Oh, Erica, please do.
The Jaguar, maybe?
Yes, and if you were Austin Powers, what is it? It's a Jaguar.
It's a Jaguar, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, that is absolutely true, CJ. Thank you. Everyone is allowed to their opinion, no matter how wrong it is. Yes, we will never tell you what to do or what to say, but yeah.
And that's just it. We are still Disney fans.
Yeah.
No one in here is saying that we're anti-Disney. I'm not an anti-Nebraska fan just because they evidently can't get their shit together. Still Nebraska fan.
That's not to say where I saw this photo before. I know for one of the things that I used to do, thank you, Battle Him. Yes, it is an E-type. One of the things that I used to do when I was a teenager is I would read and I would pour through fashion magazines. Back when they were real fashion magazines, and they would have these splashy ads, especially the car ads. They were all sexified up, had hot chicks, stylish chicks like this one. Jaguar was that British luxury vehicle brand where, you needed the nice, hot, sexy car. I mean, the Range Rover, yeah, that's kind of like when you're going off road or whatever, but nothing was quite as sexy as a Jaguar, and with the hood ornament and just the epitome. I would say second epitome of British luxury, because the epitome of British luxury would actually be the Rolls Royce. But with the Jaguar. James Bond was in a Jaguar, even the latest incarnation of James Bond, which is probably, considering if you saw that last James Bond movie, and I did not because I refuse to with what they've done with James Bond. Jaguar has a new campaign out, and I want to know what you
Their
all
timing couldn't be any better, in my opinion.
think of this.
And you are. What is that?
What medication was somebody, or recreational drugs was somebody taking when they oh
Is there
wait,
a car
there's
in
more,
this
y'all.
What am I watching?
What? It's I'm dating myself, but do you guys remember the Benetton commercials?
The what?
Like that. There's this Italian company where it's from the 80s. They used to be in malls, but they eventually went under, called Benetton. And they had like all these different very, very 80s colors with like pants, tops, knitted stuff like that. But there are always colors, and it was always United Colors of
United Colors of
Benetton. I should have had to, United Colors of Benetton. But it was actually a sexy freaking ad, actually, because people actually looked pretty good. Yeah. So this is like it. Like this was Benetton. Bright clothes.
Oh, but that was
good looking people. They always would have like supermodels and stuff in these Benetton ads. That they would do, but for Benetton, it was the clothes, and that made sense because the focus was on the clothes. How in the hell? And that's a rock. What?
Where's the car?
What?
I mean, you're a car company, so
are you
where's
sure this
the car?
company? This isn't some other Jaguar that's for like some other something. Like
I couldn't honestly, when I saw it, I was like, okay, is this the car company or is this some kind of brand, like fashion brand that's come on scene? And just as I was asking Lorena that in text, I looked over to the side and saw Elon Musk had commented, and I'm like, oh, never mind. It answers my question because he
Elon Musk said,
he was
"Do you sell cars?"
Do you That's exactly
wait,
what?
what?
I was like, oh wait, never mind.
You still sell cars?
Do you still? Yes, Tom, I believe they are. Yeah, I and Elon asked a question that we were all thinking,
and that answered
looking
my
at this
question.
freaking ad, and yeah, do you sell cars?
What's their
Jaguar.
response?
Yes. We'd love to show
they
you.
responded to a lot of the comments.
They did. Oh, hang on. This is going to be a hoot.
Yeah,
yes,
good.
We'd love to show you. Join us for a cuppa in Miami on 2 December. Warmest regards, Jaguar. Okay, first of all, in Miami, you do not get a cuppa. You can get some Cuban coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You can have cocktails on South Beach. But cuppa, you don't get tea in Miami unless it's sweet tea. Just no. I just no.
Jaguar out of Great. Like they're a British company.
They were British, but as Tom F put up there, they were bought by Ford. But historically, a British brand, as British as oh Lord. As British as Big Ben, as British as the Tower Bridge, as British as Harrods of Knightsbridge, which I have been to because that is a Graceland for shoppers. I have been to Harrods at Christmas, and dang it, Man, that was an experience.
Are they
Jaguar.
trying to do advertisements for this car the way Disney has done advertisements for things like the Acolyte and
Yes.
Agatha? Like, are they
Yes.
going to come on and have, like, are they going to be like, this is the gayest car ever? Would you say that this is the gayest car? This is the gayest car ever. Like, this is, we have made this car specifically for the queer content. And like, I'm designing this car and I'm just throwing gay everywhere. And this is going to be at least 50% queer content in this Jaguar. Which, how do you do that in a car? I don't even know how that makes sense.
It makes no sense. And yes, Fallout Dave, like I said, this was the one that fell into my lap. I could not believe it when I saw it. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, what kind of nouveau fashion brand is this? And they're probably, debuting on social media, because that's what a lot of niche startup brands, do. I was like, what do you mean it's Jaguar? After I played it, and I'm like, what do you mean it's Jaguar? Where's the freaking car? And that's why Elon said, do you sell cars? Benevolence says, where's the car? Jaguar says, the story is unfolding. Stay tuned. Hammerstone, edgy. Will it sell cars? Consider this the first stroke. Where are the cars?
My curiosity about this whole thing is, obviously this is marketing, right? This is a marketing campaign. Does their marketing, there's their head of marketing, are they aware of what happened to the Bud Light company like about a year and a half ago?
Oh, you know what? Hold on to that, because Bud Light, and I found this from the New York Post, marketing guru behind iconic Bud Light ads blasts self-inflicted Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Now, keep in mind, this was the guy who came up with the Budweiser, with the Budweiser frogs. He came up with that and basically said, InBev blew away decades of brand loyalty for this crap.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Light for us. So I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and
so what? Like,
I got so much to say.
And I'm dumb.
Their timing is impeccable, considering in the political climate we are in right now. The tides are kind of turning, and now you decide to drop this. You should have dropped this maybe about, 2 years ago. Like, you're kind of late to the party. And oh my gosh, like, talk about just financial suicide.
Do you not?
They even changed their logo.
Yes.
They changed their logo, and then their marketing. And then since when are they like, movies or sitcoms where it's got this continuing story? How is that supposed to get me to buy your car? I want to know what's under the hood.
I can't with this.
I'll be honest with you. I really don't want to know what is under that hood.
No, I'm just
really don't.
Keep that hood down. Keep that hood down. But yeah, dude's like, 20 years.
Tell me the specs of the car, like what kind of engine and what kind of technology is in there. And why should oh gosh, I'm like, oh, no.
Tell us, how hot the car is. Tell us, give us something to look at. And you know what, Aiken, they couldn't even do that. Because everyone pretty much knows what Jean-Paul Gaultier looks, what his designs look like. How cool would that have been if they would have had like the quote unquote stewardesses from The Fifth Element in a Jaguar commercial?
I wish that I don't have a way to like send it to you right now, but it's really funny. It's in relating to the Elon Musk thing in this car, and then of course, the Cybertrucks that we see everywhere around here in Alabama. I saw a Cybertruck parked at Hollywood Studios the other day, and the wrap it was a fully wrapped Cybertruck. It was. Can't even fence with a straight fence is true. I'm gonna have to. I'll send you the picture later. But the wrap was a strip club. It was a Tesla Cybertruck advertising a strip club. It was hilarious.
Was it Rachel's?
No. It was a different state. I think. I want to say it was like Georgia or something. It was. Let me see if I can find it in my photo.
Oh man, you know what? If you have a Cybertruck right now, that's like people will stop and look at it. Go and Shogi says, like Chanel commercials, they make 0 sense. Yeah, but it's like at least with Chanel, there was some kind of weird storyline going on, but it was mostly about fashion and fragrance. They're supposed to be weird to sell the fragrance, to sell the fantasy. So yes, it's like that. The Chanel commercials, that's what they would do. Like the Cartier commercials, they were always full of like luxurious and just vulgar displays of wealth, and you just wanted whatever it was. I'm like, show us what's in that red box. Let
me describe this to you real quick because it's hilarious. Because I'm looking at the picture now. It says Experience Gigi's. It's not spelled with the E. It's just spelled with the X at the beginning. Experience Gigi's, and then it's got a girl who I think maybe is a stripper but she's hanging on those banner, like whatever they call those banner things that girls hang on, and then there's like it's got a bar. It's divided where there's the bar in the back, like it's an imagery of bottles on a shelf. But here's the funny thing: right above where this lady is hanging on these things is their handicap sticker because they're in handicap parking.
Hey, I'm not gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna knock that hustle. But oh my gosh, look at this.
What really gets me, and this is where it pivots for me, is right there where scroll up a little bit more. I think it was right there. Someone asked, where are the cars in this ad? Is this for fashion? That's what I thought too. And they responded, think of this as a declaration of intent. That's saying a lot. That is multi-layered right there. You could really pick that apart.
If it's anything like the models that they used, and I will say this because they are not your traditional group of hot, beautiful people. It's just not. So when I see declaration of intent, I'm thinking, yeah, their Jaguar is going to Bud Light this. And just wait until the next commercial comes out, and it's just whatever this event is in Miami, and I'm pretty sure Elon is going to send some people to go and check it out. Makes me wonder what kind of just progressive deviant exhibits are we going to see, because your traditional audience for Jaguar, are usually rich, pretty much conservative. You want this conservative luxury. It's also the car that James Bond was driving in the latest Bond films. If you go back and you look at some of the ads for Jaguar, like I remember this one. I forget which magazine I saw it in. But it was like
that makes me want to buy a car.
Yes. It's like, look at the outfit. This is fashion and
Yeah.
car, vehicle, hot chick, avant-garde looking outfit on a hot car. That's a formula that has sold for years. And with Jaguar was more of like the but like more refined luxury
And more
and fashion.
sophisticated.
Exactly.
Yes.
More sophisticated kind of thing. I mean, I'd capture a Jaguar, like the wild sports car in the wild. But this is historically what their audience was. And I definitely say was because there's no freaking way you would have ever seen a commercial like this at the Super Bowl, for example.
Well, in this economy, I don't see very many people affording their cars.
Especially a Jaguar.
I could never afford a Jag, like any of those European or once European removed, whatever, they're still expensive. Bottom line is they are an expensive brand.
They definitely are.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what Ford is. I mean, if Ford owns them, now I'm wondering what.
Yeah.
I take it they allowed this to happen, or was it just?
Well, we'll say this.
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure that they did.
If Ford owns them now, and we see the people in the commercial, nobody's going to be surprised at the acronym found on road dead.
There's another one right there. What are you trying to sell me? Is this a car? Is this the car company Jaguar? I was just as confused as they were. I'm like, is this the same Jaguar or is this some new?
What are you trying to sell me? Is this car company Jaguar introducing you to the future? I'm like,
what future? You've been around for years.
Future of what?
I know. You're right. For years, a fashion, not fashion, but an automotive icon, legendary.
You're not even introducing us to a future car or your future engineering of vehicles and what you're doing to pioneer and change the fabric of a vehicle. You're selling me your ideology.
Ford does not own Jag anymore, according to Battle Hymn 63. It's owned by Tata, an Indian company. Like Tata Consulting?
Yeah.
If that's true, I'm really surprised this commercial got done because India is quite a conservative country.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
No. Sorry, you're saying it wrong. It's Tata. That's why. It's Tata.
Thank you, Thomas Springs. Ford sold Jaguar. Yeah, and I'm wondering if they are related to Tata Consultancy, which is one of those Indian IT companies that flooded the U.S. with HB1 visas. Okay, I'm not going to go off on that. I'll say that for another time. But Tata, I think they're actually being sued by the U.S. government for that. Well, considering who was in office for the past 4 years, they probably swept that sucker under the rug. I'm just saying. Where are the cars? We're setting the stage. Neon says crazy people did it better. Although I don't know what that one is. I don't want to run that one.
Yeah, right there, that one. Geek Time TV. Except that you copied failed ad campaigns that cost other brands billions. Fail. In the name of not copying, you sure as hell copied. Oh gosh.
That clip demonstrates nicely what you've become when you are unburdened by what has been. The below is what you once were. Thank you.
Oh, that's a pretty car.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Look at that leather, the Roadster. Robbie Starbucks said this just made me want to sell my Jaguar, and I don't even know the Jaguar.
I read that one earlier.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Battle Him says, as someone who owns a couple of Jags, I can tell you I am utterly disinterested after this commercial. There are so many people who are insulted by this commercial. I know me personally, as a fashionista, I'm insulted because that's not even fashion. That's some of the ugliest crap that I've ever seen. It just
No,
looks like it
that's
got
just
phoned in.
messaging and
It could
that's
not have
just
even been about
promoting an
fashion.
ideology. Yeah, no, that I'm sorry. You don't need any of that to sell a thing,
No.
anything like, a noun, person, place, or thing, a car, clothes, movies. I mean, shit, anything. Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Yeah. Oh, and this is the other thing that pisses me off. Okay. This was the original Jaguar logo. This is it. The internet is undefeated.
That one wins the award.
Hashtag killed the cat.
Oh my God.
It sure is Aiken, a Brit expression. This is a piss take. Oh yeah, this is up there with some of the best
Jaguar
piss takes
upgrade,
ever.
Jaguar.
I
Sorry.
oh my gosh. R.I.P. R.I.P. Jaguar.
Jaguars, do Jaguars have, am I right in thinking they have like a gold or metal version of that actual jumping Jaguar cat on the front of the vehicle?
Yes, good ornament. Yes.
Okay, so what the hell's the new hood over?
Oh, I'm
I'm so
scared.
worried now.
I'm scared. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, that one. Jaguar. But if you think Jaguar is bad, and that one just fell into our lap.
Oh, is there
there.
another brand that's done this?
Oh no. Well,
gosh.
let's go to an existing brand that is burning itself down to the freaking ground. Okay. This is from Rolling Stone, which is, well, they need to go back to reporting on actual music, but they will never do that. Rachel Zegler apologizes for post-election F Trump statement. I let my emotions get the best of me, the actress said, adding, I am sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. So what kind of discourse are we talking about? Well, apparently a discourse that was so bad, Megyn Kelly went off on her, and this is so freaking good. Oh my God.
Picture a Broadway actress who issued a post saying, F Biden supporters. May Biden or Kamala never have a moment's peace. That person would be fired so fast it would make your head spin. They wouldn't last one more minute in any Hollywood role. This is truly like, she has to go. I'm sorry, Disney. She has to go. And you're going to put out a Disney film with Snow White, a beloved American character, with a woman who hates more than half the country, the half that just elected Donald Trump. This is an incredible pivot point right now. We'll see which way the woke Disney decides to go. Picture a Broadway actress.
I mean, and she is 100% right when she says that. And we are going to go through Rachel Zegler's posts on Instagram with exactly what she said, because I like to put that evidence and that exhibit out there. Blind conservative woman, I do not think badly of you at all. That is my mentality as well. This chick, if you compare her to the young lady who played Ms. Marvel, okay, anytime she was interviewed She was happy. She was upbeat. She wasn't trying to offend anybody. She was just happy to be able to have the role that she had. Actually had the audacity to tell Marvel they needed to listen to their own fans. I'm like, wow, what a smart young woman, which which she is not at all. Not at all. Reina has a prima facie case. Yep. So we are going to look at this. Hey, Aldo says, while Zegler is 100% left. And it's like, you can have your political opinions. I like to call it the save the whales celebrities. Like you used to have these celebrities where you knew they were left of center, far left, but either they didn't talk about it a whole lot, or when they did, they made it personal to themselves. They did not demonize the fans or the public for that view. It's like they would say basically, well, this is what I feel about me, and this is why I feel it's important. This is why I'm voting for this person. But, you need to go out and vote regardless. They weren't demonizing the audience, which is why we could pretty much give them, a good amount of grace for that. But hell no, not this chick. So coming here from that Park Place, which of course Erica and Ron and I appear on pretty regularly. This is the first piece of evidence. Disney Snow White actress Rachel Zegler causes controversy with unhinged social media election tantrum. Hopes Trump supporters never know peace. Now, let's see. My Nerdy Home actually found these on Instagram. I am not on Instagram long enough to even look at anything because Instagram to me is Facebook light, and I'm not on Facebook because I would get banned. I get into too many fights and everything. But yeah, it's over on Instagram. So this is the first one. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us towards a world I do not want to live in, leading us toward a world that would be hard to raise my daughter in, leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, leading us towards a world that is fearful. Okay, so far, she's pretty much talking about her own opinion, which, I don't really care about. It's like, you want to have your opinion, that's fine. You want to rant, that's fine. You're talking from your perspective. Then she goes on to say there is also a deep, deep sickness in this country, shown in the sheer amount of people who showed up for the man who threatens our democracy. Now, that's where she effed up. That is where she effed up. Okay. Basically, you hicks, you rubes, you peasants who had the nerve to vote for the orange man, you're a deep sickness in this country. And it's a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity. Heifer, no, you freaking didn't. No, you freaking didn't. There is no help, no counsel in any of them. I could go on, but I won't. Newsflash, she lied. I feel sad. You probably do too after this. How do you guys feel when you see this? Do you feel personally attacked?
I have.
I mean, I feel like she's a bratty 23-year-old that's been given way too much privilege, like far too much privilege beyond like. People talk about privilege. Privilege comes from what you're given, and she's not. I don't know how she got her start. Okay, she's sweet. She's kind of pretty. She's got an okay, decent singing voice, but she's not better than a lot of talent out there. And it seems to me like she's just been given way too much by somebody. I don't know what she had to do to get it, and maybe that has something to do with it, but she's not nearly the level of talent that she seems to think that she is, or even in the roles that she's been given. It's just weird.
Yeah,
Togi, that was a good one. I'm sorry.
yeah, that was. I died when I saw.
Gosh, the brainwashing is just astounding to me, and the lack of common sense and logic and reasoning is just completely out the window. I point me to an actual date, time, speech. Show me documents. Show me video clips of, you claiming that this man represents all these things that you claim that he represents. You never bring your receipts. You never bring your proof, your evidence. And
we do that all the time. I mean, with him, we do that all the time. And then when they do,
over again.
When they do, it's always out of context. It's always out of context. Like one of the biggest things that's out of context is when they go, Trump said that he could stand on Fifth Avenue and do this thing, and that people would still vote for him. Trump didn't say that. That's what Trump said is, they say this about me. And that's what I mean. It's just one of those things. It's like so much about Trump is purposefully taken out of context, because the media, who, by the way, used to fawn all over this guy before he was ever in politics, loved him to death when he was like the star of NBC and bringing in all the millions of dollars on the Apprentice. As soon as he puts an R by his name and runs for president, oh my gosh, he's the worst thing ever, right? So
Then
it's
he's
like
a problem.
it's just ridiculous.
Peter, I'm glad you brought this up, because she was mainly in theater, and then she lands this role for a remake of a film that never should have been done, and that is West Side Story. You guys remember the press behind, this is Spielberg's new vision of West Side Story. And the original was problematic, so we have to change it. So now we have a Latin actress who is, playing the part of Maria, to the point where I think most of it, or a good percentage of it, was actually in Spanish with no subtitles, because they wanted to do it that way. And it started from there. Yeah, literally, woke side story. I was so aggravated, because that's one of my favorite musicals. That's one of my favorite movies.
It was the first musical that I was ever in. And this was a very long, what was I, like 13 or 14? I don't know. I was very, very young at the time, in a community theater project of this in St. Louis, but I was in West Side Story. I was one of the sharks. I played Wano. It's a chorus role, so I sang everything that the sharks sing, but I had one line. My one line was television. Never forget. But West Side Story means a lot to me too. Steven Spielberg, apparently this was his pet project. It was something he had wanted to do his entire life. And remind me how did that do at the box office?
It did abysmally, absolutely abysmally. And I definitely refused to freaking watch it. I didn't like being told that I was an awful person because I didn't go see it. Well, it did not do well. It bombed. Yet another movie that Rachel Zegler has been in that has been a box office bomb. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. What is it? The Hunger Games Songbird of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That didn't do so good. Spellbound is on Netflix on the 22nd, but we don't have to see her face. We actually have to see her voice, and you'll hear her voice, and it doesn't sound that quite annoying. Then there's this freaking movie, Snow White, the movie that God really does not want to have made at all. And the more she opens her mouth, the more this movie sinks. And I believe with what that Park Place posted recently, right now the movie cost about upwards of $1 billion to make, and it hasn't even been released yet. So Rachel continues. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, my dear.
Oh, I was just going to say, and I know like I might be interrupting the story here a little bit, but what we were talking about the remake from the animated, to live action How to Train Your Dragon, and I was thinking, remember how like last decade when Marvel was teasing their next thing coming up, they would always show some kind of a scene from the next movie, and that would be part of the after credits, blah blah blah. Well, I know that the two movies aren't connected, but they both are live action remakes of animated features, and I think it'd be really, really cool if at the end of the live action Snow White, if the dragon came in and swooped in and ate Snow White
and ate her.
Like just eats Rachel Zegler right up, chews her up, spits out the bones, and then that would make the movie so much better.
That'd be a funny clip in a live stream.
You got that right. I'm a don't you on the edge. I got a dragon and I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm just stumped on her like false sense of masculinity. Isn't she the one always like, taking digs at men? What's your definition of masculinity anyways? Because from what I'm hearing and seeing from her is if it were up to her, she'd erase men off the face of the earth.
Yeah, just it's weird.
She doesn't hear her own contradictions. She sounds absolutely stupid and completely.
Well, I don't know, but she does say that she's going to have a daughter in the future, which indicates that she would have to do that thing that you would need to do with a guy to get a daughter. So I don't know.
But the other thing also to keep in mind, especially with these Hollyweird types, because fortunately or unfortunately, I have lived among them when I lived in Los Angeles. So they have like this isolated bubble around them telling them, well, you got to do this. You got to do this. Oh, no. Slay Queen. Yeah, just go ahead. Go after him. Just like when she says here, get off of Elon's app, by the way. The F are you doing? First of all, Heifer, you don't tell me what to do. All right.
Exactly.
And she says, they're eating you up on Twitter. So obviously somebody said that. I don't use that app for a reason. He helped get that man elected and you're just giving him business. I was talking about finding catharsis in art. I don't care if you're going to pick a fight with me. It's been done before. Find something real to be mad at today. There's plenty to go around. Okay, so it looks like she got pushed back, lighting her ass up on Twitter, which is, what folks do there, because she's going after us. How dare you not vote the way that I want you to vote? And because you didn't vote the way that I wanted you to vote, you were all everything. I'm going to call you everything but a child of God. And okay, that's all. Well, that's what she said before, but she kept going. Going on stage for Act 2 now. I need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated.
Whoa. Wait, she was doing this on the clock?
That's a good question.
I mean, no,
she is doing a play.
When I was in professional theater, in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and a couple other shows that I've done professional theater, if I was backstage in between acts, I was on the clock. I was getting paid. That means that anything that she was putting out, technically, if she's on the clock, the theater, that whole organization also has to take responsibility for.
Dang, I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know earlier I was listening to Chateau. I think it was Midnight's Edge from a couple of days ago. I was catching up on some streams, and he was bringing to light how unprofessional like this is with her doing this in between acts. He brought up a really, really good point, and I kind of forgot, but he just brought to light that this behavior when you're at work and you're a performer, like this is a big no-no. You're supposed to be there for the audience, not for yourself. And he mentioned that this is a distraction from the job. I don't know, he articulated it much better because he's in the business and all that. But but yeah, her all professionalism is just out the window with this girl. She does not know how to be a professional at all.
Definitely not. And
I'm sorry, but she is not. There's a difference between being a lady and just being a brute.
And she's around a lot of people.
She may look like a
her.
lady.
Yeah.
She may look pretty, but she is not. She has no class. She is not refined. She's not well spoken. And I'm sorry, but if you're well read, you're usually well spoken.
Agreed.
And for someone to be in the arts and reading a lot, like I kind of expect a little more out of people that read, But then again, what are they reading? So there's that.
Or if they're reading at all. That's the other thing. You've got so many people. When you have people around you, especially if you're an actress and you have certain sycophants and people around you and who enable your behavior, this is what you get. If you go back and you watch, first of all, watch the series Entourage on HBO. It's freaking hysterical. The main actor, he has his entourage around him because he's like, you're the only people that I can trust. And Turtle would always tell him the truth. When everybody else was kissing his ass and saying, oh, you're great, and this, that, the other thing, and Turtle would be like, no, you don't need to listen to that person. That's freaking horrible, advice, for you. And he's just like, no, I need these people around me because they're going to tell me the truth. But usually a lot of these people in Hollywood, when they get certain people around them and weave into their inner circle and just tell them everything that they want to hear, this is the kind of stuff that you wind up getting. And there's no one reining her ass in. There's plenty of people apologizing for her, like when she shows up in this spread in Vanity Fair to quote unquote try to fix her image, and it just makes stuff worse. I mean,
sorry for her parents. I mean, like, did they raise her like this? Like, what went on in her upbringing? I mean, she's only 23, for crying out loud. I have a 25-year-old and a 21-year-old, and I'm just sitting here like, what went on at home when you were growing up?
You know what? It could be. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But whoever she got around her, she didn't have somebody to keep her grounded. Or even if they did, something happened and she's just like, I'm ignoring that. So it could be a case of, I raised you better than this.
I mean, she's also made other comments on her own social media that she's not emotionally or mentally well. She has admitted to that fact. And she's also said she's also admitted to being one of the worst people to work with. So, why are people keeping her around? I'm not sure. I honestly hope, and I'm going to speak for her at this point, I hope she gets help, like, honestly, because she really honestly does seem not particularly stable. And it's kind of scary because she is young. She could have a bright and brilliant both career and life ahead of her, but somebody needs to get her out of whatever bubble that she's in that's keeping her this miserable, because you cannot be putting out statements like this and be a happy person. She's clearly leading. I mean, how do you have that many millions of dollars doing nothing, for being unsuccessful and be miserable at the same time? It's very odd.
It's a lot in her rhetoric here, and that was the first thing that came to my mind when you showed the first paragraph. And she is the one, in fact, who is not happy. She is the one, in fact, who is living in misery. I mean, my life isn't perfect, but damn. you know?
I've seen and again, I've seen a lot of actors when they used to live in Hollywood who from the outside looking in, oh, they have it all, they're fabulous, but basically they're freaking miserable. And they'll project onto other people. I've seen, like, for example, production assistants get treated like absolute freaking dirt because certain actors do not want to handle their own psychological issues or handle their own happiness. And Hollywood is really good at enabling you. Even if your behavior is absolutely disgusting, they're going to make us money. Okay, fine. You never know what producer made what call to say, hey, you need to hire this person on this project. Well, she's a pain. She's not, this is not helping us. It's just like, no, we'll handle it. You do this for me, I'll get you so-and-so that you wanted for that picture that you have coming up. These are the kind of discussions that happen in the background where I've actually heard and you've actually seen this. So when you talk about why is it she's going to get this other job? Why is it, like, say, for example, she's rumored to be in the MCU? Why? Disney, a lot of these companies, entertainment companies, and Disney especially is one of the worst offenders. They will recycle through people they know rather than risk someone that they don't, unless you don't agree with their politics, which is, you know, what happened to Gina Carano. So
That's
I'm
messed
loving
up.
this.
I mean, look what this chick is like putting out
Yeah, look
there.
at this.
They want to fire Gina Carano
Exactly.
over less. Like, what? Are you serious? You know, I hope her lawyers, you know,
Oh
use
yeah, Elon is
in the
eating all
case.
this up.
Disney's
He
going to
got
get
Elon
crushed.
lawyers.
I mean, because Disney is allowing this, and there's not just this. There's plenty of other things that they've allowed. I think but Pedro Pascal and the things that he put out, and so I mean, Disney will absolutely get crushed in the Gina Carano case. She will get everything that she's asked for, except for maybe her job back, which would be funny if she did. I don't know how she'd handle that, but yeah, they just don't have a winning case because they keep kicking themselves in the foot. It's just so it's ridiculous. And
They need a serious dose, and I mean monumental dose of humble pie.
They really do, and it.
I know where
That's
to get it from.
The first dose was
shop.
getting in.
It
The
needs
second
to
dose will
hurt.
probably be Gina's case if it goes to Discovery.
Yeah, and it is because Disney tried to say, oh, because of, you know, trade secrets, we don't want to go through Discovery, and the judge was like, nah, F that, you're gonna have to go through Discovery. So that's gonna happen.
When is that? Like, what's the time frame on that? I mean,
sometime next year. I want to say, I think they said no later than April. I think that they had to decide on a date to actually, there's something with schedules or whatever, but the judge said, okay, this is a drop dead date. You cannot push this out. Discovery needs to start by this particular date. But also in Gina's lawsuit, okay, there's, you know, the judgment offhand, but she's also asked for punitive damages, and punitive damages, that is what can ruin a freaking company. That's a deterrent for any other company to try and do the same thing that happened in that particular lawsuit. So I am interested in what the punitive damages would be for this. This is a case that it would behoove Disney to settle, and they have a chance. They, as someone who's been involved in a lawsuit, I can't get into the details, but they will negotiate right up until the day before a trial is scheduled. And even if they call in a jury, because Gina wants a jury trial, she requested a jury trial, They can have the jury right there waiting for them to do voir dire, and they'll settle.
That's true.
So
Wait, so
I
if all that
can't wait to see
happens,
this.
then so if all that happens, though, will discovery still happen?
Discovery will happen up until discovery is the first phase that will happen before they actually go forward with the trial, because they'll do like the depositions and then they review all that information and decide what type of case that they have, start negotiating. Hey, you told us this. Do you really want this to show up in court? So discovery, that's all between the lawyers and the plaintiff and defendants. Once that trial kicks in and starts happening, all that stuff that came out in discovery, the jurors get to look at.
Oh,
So yeah, that's something. It's like it's one thing if it's like, okay, well, I have to share this with with the defense, but we're not in trial yet, so all that stuff's confidential right now.
And,
but
we're all kind of hoping that Gina will hang tight and not settle, like let it go to that point.
Mm-hmm. And
I
knowing
hope so.
her, I in a
deserve
way,
it.
I hope that she does not settle, because I want to know
I
all the
know.
dirt.
I just want them
want
exposed.
all
I
the
want
tea.
accountability,
Yes.
and like I think the investors have a right to kind of see some of this stuff. I mean, if that would even affect them, I don't know. They seem to just kind of whatever.
No, I hope Disney, I hope she doesn't settle, because Disney needs to be taught a freaking lesson with this. And the only
They need to
thing that Disney
because
understands is that loss of revenue. Can you imagine if she got like $1 billion settlement?
Yeah, I mean, they're walking around with the Roman Empire, and it's like, it's time to bring that house down.
Exactly. And they have a lot. Disney, remember, Disney's been losing a lot. They lost against DeSantis. They lost that. They're getting, they're getting sued other places, whistleblower trial. I mean, they are not the
no, yeah, they're not
They're not what they used to be, because they used to have that reputation. And here's the thing. The reputation that Disney had 10 years ago, there are still a lot of people who think of Disney as that 10-year-ago company. So they're like, oh, they don't want to go up against those Disney lawyers. They're just going to lose. I'm like, you haven't been paying attention. Disney ain't won anything over the last 5 years. They've lost everything in court. They don't even have the Reedy Creek Improvement District anymore. It's the Central Tourism Oversight District, and they've changed the signs, and it's so fun to see.
I know. Drive by on Hotel Plaza Boulevard that says Sip instead of Reedy Creek.
I love it. I love it. The other building I like to pass is the Amateur Athletic Union building, just because the historicity of it. If you know, you know. But it's yeah. I'm sure you're going to we'll segue into what has happened with the response to this, but Disney is clearly trying to save face, because they're like, something, what? We can't really have this happen 3 months before the release of Snow White. So here you go.
There you go. Yes. So written by Marvin Montaro, who is now the editor-in-chief over at that Park Place. Disney Snow White actress Rachel Zegler issues apology after unhinged election meltdown. But did she write it? Now, that was the question I had, and I will say absolutely not, because let's listen to this. So again,
she's
from
not capable.
My Nerdy Home, she gets this here. She posts this over and says, Rachel Zegler has apologized for lashing out at Trump supporters. The Snow White trailer is about to drop this month, and Disney is doing damage control. Yes, that trailer, I believe, is going to run during right before Moana 2. So they got that set up. All right. So
trying to cash in on that demographic.
As hard as they can. So she says, "Hi everyone,
Wait,
I'm doing this on purpose."
Stop right there. There's no
Yeah.
way Rachel doesn't address everybody like that. Go on. I'm sorry.
Nah. So I'm doing this on purpose because I have seen a lot of PR generated apologies, and this is so it. Hi everyone, comma. I would like to sincerely apologize for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. Period. Capital I. Let my emotions get the best of me. Period. Carriage return. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding. Period. Space. And I am sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. Period. Carriage return. This week has been emotional for so many of us, comma, space. But I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion, comma, space, even when it differs from my own, period. Capital I am committed to contributing positively towards a better tomorrow, period.
Oh, what a Disney thing to say. For a better tomorrow.
For a better tomorrow. Now look at this last one. Look at this. Okay, this is how she writes. This is how I catch a lot of people who create sock accounts on Twitter to try to harass you. They do not change how they speak, and that's how they get caught. And this is pretty much the same freaking thing. This is so not her. This is
Definitely
someone
not.
at Disney PR who said, you're going to freaking put this out here.
This was a little too thought out. She doesn't think before she talks. She doesn't think
No.
before she types. She just look diarrhea of the mouth and her fingers.
How
She doesn't think like
here's
this.
here's the kicker of how you know this wasn't her. At the end of it, it doesn't say hashtag Free Palestine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the
grammar is much better, and the sentencing and the everything is neat and it's grammatically correct, and it doesn't sound like a rant. Well, it doesn't look like a rant with the grammar and the sentence and the punctuation being everywhere.
There's an empathetic tone, even though it's fake as a $3 bill. But this is like the boilerplate, I'm sorry you feel that way type of thing.
Yeah, she's not really acknowledging what she's sorry for. It's a half-ass apology. It's apologizing without apologizing is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Exactly. I'm sorry you got upset, but
I'm right.
But I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm right. Yeah, copy paste, fake apology.
Fake apology. Yeah, it is very much fake. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Unabomber can write a better apology.
Oh my gosh!
Absolutely. I mean, it's how freaking insulting is this? This is pretty. This is like
I bet the comments were
deep
crazy.
frying a frozen turkey. Okay, that doesn't end well, and it just sets everything on freaking fire.
So I think it's funny that Nita said that it looks AI, and it's kind of funny because I'm looking at it going.
Yes.
It's like, oh crap.
Yes,
ChatGPT.
exactly. I'm looking at that too.
I need an apology quick.
It's like run it through the AI, run it through the AI. Yeah, I believe it because I mean, I don't know how many or folks have worked with AI. I've broken several. I've broken ChatGPT. I've broken Gemini. I did that on purpose. Where it can change the tone of how things are written depending on what you want. I don't know if you've ever seen the commercial where the guy starts writing this email about somebody stealing his pudding out of the refrigerator, and he is basically going off like, whoever you did this, you're just an awful person. I hope you die in a fire. And he looks at this mug that says, this teddy bear that says, have empathy. And in the suggestions, he says, rewrite email with empathy. And it's just like, I understand some people are hungry, but that belonged to me. And if you could just return it back to me That would be fabulous. No questions asked. And the chick come back and returns his pudding and says, that was a wonderful email. Yeah, AI can do that. It can change the tone of what it is that you write. And 9 times out of 10, anything that AI generates for me, I rewrite.
I don't know if I like that. I like to be in control of my own tone and what I write.
I do too.
And I mean, if you're a decent writer, I mean, you should be able to convey that tone. This thing of, oh, depending on what mood you're in, how you're going to interpret. No, that's all bullshit. Because a good writer, there's no questioning the tone that they're coming across. There's no questioning their message, what they're trying to convey, including tone and mood.
Right. And that's what used to be taught in English classes when you learned about writing, different, how you write if it's a friendly letter, how you write if it's a business letter, how you write to someone you know, someone you don't know, how do you write editor, how do you write something factual, something that's extemporaneous, different writing styles. That's something that you're supposed to learn how to do. And AI homogenizes so much of that. I mean, it's fun for me to throw something in AI just to laugh and see, what it is that it does. But it's really made a lot of people lazy and dumber for it. I mean, it's one thing if it's just like, I need you to spell check this, or let me see what you can think of, to change this. And some suggestions, it's just like, okay, that's a word I hadn't thought of. Okay, I'll go ahead and
that's what Grammarly is for.
Yeah.
You don't even need some AI chat GP, whatever. Just use Grammarly.
Although I hate the grammar plugin in Word. I freaking hate it.
I don't like that either. That's annoying as well.
I'm just like, shut up. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I'm like, can I finish my sentence? I promise it makes sense.
Oh, that's funny. It's Floridan. Practically unperfect in AI way. Yes. This is such a freaking slap in the face. We all know that it is. And the only reason that Disney put that out there for her, and yes, because she did not do this on her own. Let's see. Disney has, there's, of course, Moana 2 that is coming out. You've got Mufasa that's coming out in December. And I'm pretty sure Sonic 3 is going to blow it out of the water. I'm going to die on that hill. And Captain America, Brave New World with Black Captain America and Brown Falcon is going to be out in time for Black History Month, I believe, in February. So they've got all this stuff coming up. And Snow White is scheduled for the spring. And Disney knows that they are not seen very favorably at all by a lot of folks. So this does not this just so does not bode well. If you want to talk about, Disney talks about, oh well, we had Shogun, we had the Bear, well, we had Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, that was Fox. What has Disney come out with on their own that's actually done well? It hasn't. Their brands damaged, and you've got people like this running their mouth. This is
last year was abysmal for Disney. This year they had the 2 hits with Inside Out 2 and Deadpool Wolverine. This is a better year for Disney box office wise. I think Moana 2 will do well. I don't know, Mufasa. I think Mufasa would have actually done probably great as a classically animated prequel, but the live action was so weird. I mean, because it's not live action; it's CGI live action. It's so weird. Like, so
It
what's the
was,
series that way?
it was soulless, and that's what people said about the first live action Lion King. They were
Yeah.
like, it's freaking soulless. There's nothing, to it that gave you any good feelings from the animated version. And as a matter of fact, the director of Mufasa got a lot of smoke from people saying, how can you do such a soulless remake? You saw what the first one was. Why the heck are you doing, gonna do this one? Yeah, I did like Jungle Book live action. I did. I enjoyed that. I watched that with my nephew. I liked watching that with him because he was such a boy. So
Jungle Book. The Jungle Book live action may have been the only one that I kind of thought was better than the animated version of it, but a lot of that had to do with Christopher Walken. Right?
Yeah, as King Louis. Yeah, I did. I love both of them. I still love the animated one. I like that one.
The swingers.
Yeah. What did you think of live actions Dumbo? It was hot garbage.
Oh yeah,
It was okay, but it's not something I would rewatch. It really didn't. I will rewatch Cinderella live action. That one to me is the best one.
Oh my God, that dress, Lord!
I mean,
that
the
dress.
everything about it, the story, if all of their live action stuck to that kind of formula, they would all be successful.
I liked 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close live action. That's been a long time ago.
I actually never got around to seeing that and never got around to watching it.
You have got to watch it. It is so like 90s and
better
so
than the new one they came out with.
Oh God, hell yeah.
That was
hell
terrible.
yeah.
I was like,
how can you make a heroine of somebody who wanted a coat made out of puppies? Because that was the outrage that we felt when you watched 101 Dalmatians, and when you watched the live action, especially since the dogs were trained, so you could feel like how upset she was, how upset Pongo and Perdita was about losing their puppies, and how angry we are because we're just like, we got to save the puppies. Glenn Close was so crazy. Oh my gosh, she was
so
great.
good.
She should have gotten an Oscar for that. She was fun.
Scenery like nobody else, and man, I mean, I will never say bad. I don't know what Glenn Close's politics are, but she can act her butt off, so she's probably earned it.
She has indeed. Well, folks, that is another Spice Lounge in the can. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here. We sure do appreciate it. Erica, what do you have going on? Let the folks know about, and where can they find you?
Y'all can find me at Erica-Raff on YouTube, and I just loaded 2 videos this week. One is the holiday scents I got from the magic candles. Is that what they're called? Sorry, I get that name.
Yes, magic.
I used your link, and I placed I placed a significant large order so it'll last me, a while. And shipping can take about a week or 2. But yeah, that, and I did I'm tired. So a cooking video. I did one on how we make a Cuban Puerto Rican roast pork during the holidays. And I am working on our Christmas vlogs. We went to Fantasialand last weekend, which is a theme park out here, and we vlogged their winter celebration, Christmas celebration. And I have another video I'm editing of what do Christmas decorations look like out here in Germany.
I know that perennial one I watched and I loved it. And then realized the way that I make perennial is Dominican style. It finally hit me. I have stages of how I make perennial. There's the one that I make in the crock pot because I'm not really down with the crispy skin like the chicharrones. However, chicharrones. But if I make Dominican style pernil, I have to have that crunchy part on the top because all my friends and family like that part. So
Yeah, it makes a great appetizer. While they're
it does.
munching on that, you're making the rice and the beans and all the other stuff.
I'm like, y'all can have it. My one of my relatives is like, oh, great, fresh pork rinds. Like, enjoy it. Ron, what do you have going on? Let the folks know about.
Well, every day on my channel at 9:30 a.m., people can tune in and watch the Daily Dish. If I'm not live in the park for that, which most days I'm not live in the park, some days I will actually go on location and go live in the park for that show. But if I'm not, then that will stream directly into Culture Casino's 6-Minute Daily Show, which typically then follows suit right into all that Park Place and WDW Pro stuff. I was on the Pro Show earlier today, so I'm sure that those there'll probably be more videos coming out from that. And other than that, there's shorts and a lot of really, really good vlogs on the channel, especially some of the older vlogs that really rehash the seasons last year. And if you just go to Follow the Bradley's Fun and you kind of want to get in the mood for Christmas, I've got some just Christmas ambience videos on there of Magic Kingdom Day, Magic Kingdom Night, snowfall and Christmas music. It's really good for if you're, setting up your Christmas tree or just decorating or any of those kind of things. So lots of variety on the channel, but these days we're really focused in on a lot of the happenings going on with not only the Disney company, but just like Lorena, Universal, SeaWorld, and a lot of the holiday stuff that is coming up will also be featured on the channel.
All right. Yes, so definitely check out Ron's channel. I've got links to Ron and Erica's channels in the description box. Hopefully, Ron, I can wake up early enough on Friday and drop into your show. As for your girl, let's see. Tomorrow's Wednesday, I'm kind of busy. I have to go and actually go see the Wicked movie for preview night. Not because I want to, but because Camera Girl wants to go. So I have to go and take her. Thursday morning, going to be playing the new DLC for Disney Dreamlight Valley called Storybook Vale, and I'm going to be playing it on my new gaming rig, so you guys get to see how that is in action. And Friday, I will be live at Universal because Christmas has arrived. We're going to see the Christmas parade. We're going to check out the tribute store. We're just going to have all that fun feeling of Christmas. And speaking of the holidays, and I have to go check out Erica's video. If you purchase from the Magic Candle Company, and this is a local company to Orlando, they do all kinds of scents, white label scents for SeaWorld, for Universal. If you use my code Reina Creole, or you use my affiliate link, you will get 15% off. Oh, let me blow up Erica. So you can get 15% off using my code. You can go to get all kinds of scents. Erica has my favorite Christmas scents that they have. They're so wonderful. They last a long time. Oh my gosh, Autumn on Main Street. Oh, that smells so good. That is like fall.
I know.
And
my reaction on the video is like, I'm like, it's like fall in a cup.
It is. It's totally like fall in a can. Pirate Life right there. That's one of my favorites. That is literally, it smells like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm not kidding. But the bromine smell and everything. There's a Splash Mountain one. The Leo Christmas shop smells just like the little Christmas shop that's in Liberty Square.
Ooh,
at the Magic Kingdom. It does. It smells
like pine.
Exactly.
A pine tree.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, I smelt This was so weird. But I was over at Pop Century the other day, and I was in the bathroom, and I'm like, whatever they have pumped into this bathroom right now, it actually smells really weirdly good. I don't know which fragrance it was. There's nobody else in the bathroom, so there's nothing going on in the bathroom. But there was a fragrance that they were pumping in that it was odd because it wasn't in the lobby. You know how they pump fragrances in the lobbies of the resorts. This was just in the bathroom, and it was in Pop Century, and I'm like, it didn't feel familiar to me, and I used to work at Pop Century, so I was like, they have put something new in here, and it actually smells really good, which, you know, I'm very, very glad for. So
Yes, they do. I call it I keep calling it smell-o-vision, but it's true. It's like even when there's a certain smell when you walk into the Contemporary, it's distinctive from the smell when you walk into the Polynesian, distinctive from the one that's in the Grand Floridian, and it is a scent that they put in there. So Magic Candle Company recreates all those scents. So if you can't go to the parks to visit, you can get some of those scents to visit. And Erica is way ahead of me with her video, with what she got eventually, because I love the holidays. I'll be putting out some recommendations.
They need to make one. They need to make one that says, be a cast member for a day. Here's the fragrance, Utilidor.
You and that Utilidor scent. I got one for was it from Battle Hymn? Do you have a scent appropriate for whatever the new Jag is going to be? Yeah, it's called Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what the Utilidor would smell like.
Ass. Or more accurately for Florida, swamp ass, right?
Oh, yeah. It's like they pump the smell of everybody that didn't wear deodorant in the park. They pump that down.
Oh God! Oh my gosh! You know what? It has smelled perfect. I kid you not. I have a bottle of a can of Native deodorant spray. You can use it all over. That is one of the best freaking things to use. Like, cause people get gamey near the end of the day, so I'm in the bathroom spraying it all over. It's great. Yeah, I keep it with me. It's worth the $12 in the can. I tell you, it's great. It'll make people way more friendly, but I'm like, come on. That end of the day when you can tell people have been in the park way too long and probably didn't use deodorant or their deodorant failed. Yeah.
Well, when you're sitting in the audience of the last Indiana Jones show of the day on a 100-degree day in the summertime in Florida.
My favorite. You're on the last tram. No, not the tram.
The monorail.
Last monorail out of the night. That needs to be a scent. It is the worst. Now complete with the smell of weed. Okay.
A scent line dedicated to people you hate. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
The line that said the line would just be called Zegler.
There you go.
I like that. Oh my gosh, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next week. Please do make sure that you are subscribed to everyone on the channel. Check out their videos, all of that. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Let's tidy things up.
Autobots, start your engines!
Not under the rug. We'll keep singing without fail. Otherwise, we'd spoil it.
Ready, Prime. Let's roll.
Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing up the toilet. Ooh.
That's all, folks.
You're still here. It's over.